At me when I say this to every one of you? Have I yet talked about the company, the compensation, and the product? How many people want to get in with Jenny? Everyone in the room. Whole different story. Everybody else is out there. Wow, did you see this GPS funnel thing? Woo-hoo! It's like, no, I don't get it. But even if people got in, are they going to do anything? No, because they don't have this vision. They don't have this story. Any questions for me?
Thank you.
Pow.
Yeah.
That's what I call a pop. So you help other people get their pop, done. Done. And people go, I don't have a clue why that person is that focused, that, whatever. So thank you. All right.
And in our case, there is nothing better, easier, simpler, more effective than the $1 million question. Once you learn that, you can do it a lot of different ways and still have measures of success. You can find other people promoting their success from a different way. But there is no better way. There are other ways, but there is no better way. So once you learn the process, figure out what it is that makes you the most money and learn that process. Become a master of the thing, whatever that thing is. Just figure it out and master it. It doesn't take that long for mastery. For something as simple as a 4-minute process, it doesn't take that long to master it. If it took you a month to master it, it'd be worth the month. You actually don't want to go to the next step until you find these things. This is how foundational these first 3 are. Is you actually don't want to go to this one until you've done those, because this one will discourage you. Anything after this will discourage you if you don't have those done. You're actually going to have to start over or quit. If people don't have that, they quit. And so the next one, set expectations. So since we haven't done this one, I'm actually going to give you a little training on this one. This is one we're going to pause on for just a minute. Setting expectations. We actually did a training on this not too long ago, and it was one of our more famous, more popular. Everybody just started sharing it all over the planet. I don't even know how many views we've got now. I haven't checked. But if you've ever seen the movie, it's a very popular video on the internet called The First Follower. It's the story of the crazy dancer. He's standing in the middle of a field and he's doing the crazy dance. He's got his speakers right there and he's just crazy dancing all by himself. He's doing it for a really long time. And there's this stretch of time between him and his dream and his vision, and the dancing and dancing and dancing and dancing and dancing and dancing. And he's probably going to do that all afternoon, all by himself. It looks like he doesn't care. He's going to do it all by himself. And then suddenly, this magical thing happens. He's here dancing, and another guy joins him. This is the magic of our business. It's called the first follower. When you're out doing this and you're asking $1 million question, there's an extended amount of time when you're asking the question all by yourself. If you don't know that, you think you're a failure. If you're in for 5 minutes and no one's responding, you think, I'm a failure. I can't do this. He's got a nice car. I got a question. That's all I got. I keep asking this dumb question and I'm not getting any followers. How come that is? It's because this is normal. This is your expectation. This is supposed to happen. You're supposed to be out there by yourself acting like a crazy person for a long period of time. And if you don't realize that, that's why we have such a failure rate in the business, because people don't have the proper expectation. They don't understand that that is normal, that it's okay. You're practicing, you're showing yourself a fool, you're being an example to the people around you. You're actually just going to go out and keep on doing it. You're going to go to your 250 closest people you know, and you're going to ask them the question, and nobody's going to follow. Once you realize that that's okay, you just just keep on going. Keep dancing. Have fun. Keep going. Then this happens. Then your first follower happens. Now what some people do, I was teaching Hannah when she was 17. We went 5 or 7 days before she got her first follower. 4 to 6 hours a day on Facebook and Craigslist. $1 million question, $1 million question, $1 million question. She didn't get a single follower. Not one person joined the program. She got a bunch of leads, but we didn't get anybody join. After about a week, the first person upgraded. And she's like, woo. I got $50. And then she starts comparing, you know, if I take that week and the amount of hours that I spent to get that first follower, if this is the way it is, I'm like 6 cents an hour. That's just not worth this. She said, I'll work at the coffee shop and we'll make some money. I said, no, you don't know what just happened. You have no idea what just happened. This is the beginning of great things. And she's like, no, it isn't. This is $50. No. Really, listen to Dad. This is the beginning of great things. Because this is where it starts to take off. Everybody quits here. The people who actually make it this far look at that first person and they're looking at the person, and the person comes to them and says, how much money are you making? They both quit when they tell them the story. Right? They're like, can I get a refund? This guy wants his money back because he just heard the story. You mean you took a whole week to get me? And you only making $50? Well, we both want out. But then this happens. Then both of you start dancing like crazy. And then it's not this much time anymore. Suddenly, in this much time, this happens. And the momentum begins. Now, if you're in a company or a group where the momentum's already started, it's a lot faster. Because now they're joining a team of people, which is great. Instead of you going out there all by yourself and joining that team, the team thing I was talking about, you got a group of people where there's 40, 50, 60 people on every call, every night, and they're seeing this excitement, momentum, and story. It's easier for them to jump in. It's easier for their friends to jump in. It's easier for their families to jump in. So this guy's standing out in the field, and there's 2 of them dancing. Now there's 4 of them dancing, and then this happens. And now this happens, and then this happens, and then we got hundreds and hundreds of people. Now the people who are outside here actually feel embarrassed for not being a part. They're like, why didn't I join back when it was the beginning? Because now I'm just a follower. Now I'm just like everybody else. But the momentum happens right about here, and then your company does this, and then there's this thing called a plateau, but we don't have to deal with that because you're already a millionaire over here. At this point, people are now joining just because of the momentum of the other people. And this guy's not the hero. This guy's the hero. And that's where all of us are. All of us, when we join a company, somebody else has already been doing the dance. Like Robert was talking about earlier, they paid the price. They macheted their way through it. They started this thing. They started to develop a story. They started to develop a company. They started to develop this thing. If we'll become a first follower and not try to get them to join us because it feels like we're starting over, get them to join our team, which looks more like this, it's a lot easier for your momentum to start carrying.
Really important part of that is in that example, the person never stopped dancing until the first follower showed up. Because some people have this philosophy, which is bizarre, that they can dance for like 15 minutes and then do it again next week for 15 minutes. That every time you do that, you're starting over.
It resets the clock, right?
Yeah, it resets the clock.
You're not.
So it's the consistency of doing it long enough until your first follower shows up. Because I know a lot of people in this room, because I've helped you, and it's like you go, well, okay, I'll dance for like 3 hours a week, and 15 minutes a shot. That's not what he's talking about. It's not the time that you're in the business, it's the time that you're actually dancing.
You actually almost have a rebound effect too, because it's like you don't come back to 0, you come back to a little bit less than 0 the next week. Because now your frustration starts to build because you think you're doing stuff and you're not making progress.
And there's this interesting world of business and marketing, a philosophy that's been associated with this group called Freakonomics. It's like, why did the pet rock take off like it did? You put a rock in a box, now no one's going to buy one. Right? They're like, I'm not buying a stupid rock. It's over and done with. What is it about the society and culture that causes something in a momentum to take root? Now, we don't have to figure that out. We can talk about that. We can go into all the business philosophies and stuff, but that doesn't need to mean anything to us. All we have to do is watch a trend. All we have to do is understand where's the trend going and jump in, instead of trying to figure out how to build a trend or how to make one or how to restart one. Restarting one is also just as hard as, or even harder than starting one over again. I started a company a year ago, started on January 1st, and we took off, and it went click, 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 boom. And we projected to make $10 million a week by June 1st. That was going to be our sales ratio. But what happened was, as we got into it, we got into our third month, all the credit card companies freaked out because we were selling. It got turned back on, the momentum went, started going like this. Nothing changed about the product. Nothing, there was absolutely nothing different. All of a sudden, the steam, the momentum in the culture and the voice that was being echoed out there suddenly changed, and it went down. The company never made it to $10 million again. It just went, and it just kind of slowly just fizzled, just a slow little company. It's still alive today, and it's still making money. It's just not making anywhere near